Thank you. Our next presenter is Ms. Lois Moore, the Registrar of Deeds.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Miss Judy's going to hand out some papers that go along with your PowerPoint.
Hey, we'll do it later.
Thank you. Yeah, kind of processed it last time.
Good afternoon, Judy. You ready?
Just some more information that will help you understand some processes.
Thank you, ma'am.
And as I said, good afternoon to everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
I am Lois Moore. I'm the Registrar of Deeds. Let me give you, if you have any questions, just stop me, because otherwise I'm going to go straight through this PowerPoint. Concerning the history of the office, in 1665, legislation was passed to require recording land grants, and we can thank King Charles II for that. It came about when he would make grants of land to the settlers, and he thought it would be more enticing for the settlers if they could see actual documentation of their ownership. Another history item, the Register of Deeds office was moved to its current location in March of 1995, and that was after the courthouse annex was completed. And also, I was elected Register of Deeds in November of 2004. My duties as registrar and my staff's duties as well are to record, maintain, and make available to the general public all real estate documents and other documents on file in the office. The staff also issues marriage licenses. We certify copies of birth, death, and marriage records. We maintain the notary register for Wayne County and record the armed forces discharge papers. We also record surveys and DOT maps. We also, concerning the duties, we also answer general questions from the public concerning recording guidelines and the fees associated with each transaction. The registrar should know how everything is done. That means that I have to know the entire process. If not, I would not be able to delegate effectively. My duties are governed by NCGS 161 and all subsections. And actually, there was a new law enacted in November of 2012 that gives me the authority to reject any documents determined to be false liens or encumbrances. And this statute is NCGS 14-118.6. Of course, the website is under waynegov.com. You click on the departments and then you choose Register of Deeds. You will find on our website the hours of operation, our fee schedule, recording guidelines, and forms to use when canceling a mortgage. You will also find assumed name forms, the application for marriage license, and various requests for certified copies of birth and death records. And there is general information about doing the online search concerning the real estate. Enhancements. We now accept debit and credit card payments, and this began in August of 2010. We participate in the statewide issuance program, and that is whereby birth certificates from other counties can be obtained through the Register of Deeds office if the birth occurred after 1970. We are able to access the Vital Records database for a fee of $14. This fee is passed on to the customer, which most are glad to pay because it saves them time and gas. And this was implemented in October of 2010. The notary oaths are now processed electronically. And by the way, we have, in Wayne County, we have 1,444 notaries. As I said, they are now processed electronically. Once completed, we can scan them back to the Secretary of State, thereby saving on postage and envelopes. This began in August of 2011. And maps, which are also called plats, are now online back to 1977.
What does it cost to become a notary, Lois? What does it cost to become a notary?
Well, the fee that we charge is, for them to take the oath, is $10. Now, the one they pay to the Secretary of State is $50.
And how long is it for, expiration?
It's for 5 years.
Five. Okay, thanks.
Personnel, we currently have 8 employees working in the Register of Deeds office, and 1 is part-time, and she works from 11 to 3, and that is the time frame that the other ones are going to their lunch, so that works out really good. I have 2 assistants that are certified. One is with me today, Ms. Harrison, and then we have 2 deputies that will be certified this September. The goals, of course, the most important goal right now is to finish the redaction of confidential information from the website. And this redaction process was mandated by NCGS 132-1.10(G). We began this project in January of 2010. Now, this tells you how long that process took. We've been working on it 3 years. It involved approximately 2,000 books, and we have about 100 left to redact. And that is a project that, to further explain why it was needed, years ago, the attorneys and people in general would draft documents that would have your Social Security number on them, have your driver's license, your bank account, and nobody ever thought that we would have a website. So the law came about that we have to go back and obscure that number from the documents that are on the website. And our website starts with 1969, so that tells you how far back we had to go with the books. The entire staff has helped with this project as time allowed. And of course, it's important because of the identity theft now. Also, in the near future, I wish to coordinate, Also, in the near future, I wish to coordinate with the Vital Records a project to fill in missing names on our older birth records. They're missing because the parents did not give a name when the child was born, and then when they did think of a name, they forgot to inform the proper authorities. If we are proactive in this project, it will help the public as they come to get a birth certificate when you get ready to apply for Social Security or job benefits. And most of these records are in the 40s and 50s. And let me just elaborate on that a little bit, why it's important. Let's say you just retired or you just reached 65 and you want to start drawing Social Security. Normally, they will ask you for a birth certificate. And just imagine the frustration when you come to see us and you don't have a name on your birth certificate. And that's what's happening. I mean, it's that time span now. So we're having to help people do amendments. And a lot of times it involves getting a early school record, and it takes a while to do the process. So if we can be proactive in that, that will help the public a lot. The trends, well, as you all know, the housing market has taken a drastic dive in the last few years, and this definitely affects our bottom line. The excise tax collected when recording deeds is the biggest part of our revenue source. And I'll just give you a for instance on that. I went back to 2006, 2007 fiscal year, and the revenue collected that year was $645,000. Well, then I did 2009, 2010 fiscal year, and it had dropped to $468,000. So that is a tremendous dive. Another thing that would determine...
Excuse me, Lois, when it drops like that, where do you go to cut? What program do you go to?
Well, so far we're still having more revenue than expenses, so... Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the expenses automatically drop because if you don't have as much recording, obviously you don't have as much wear and tear on your machinery, papers, punch paper, books, that all adds up.
Okay.
Please do the state, all those things, everything's reduced.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Another thing that would determine our revenue is the amount charged to record documents. And I just mention that because the fees do change. Of course, after the excise tax, the recording fees is our next biggest source of revenue. Also, what we charge for certified copies of vital records, that determines the revenue. And the fees we collect are governed by NC general statutes. And talking about trends, though, this is kind of humorous. It is to us. Of course, everybody knows that Valentine's Day is in February. And, well, in February, we can always count on the marriage licenses being doubled.
You're picking on me now.
No, I didn't say a word.
She was looking at you.
But I looked back at last month, and the marriage license applications was 44. In January, it was 44. In February, it was 84. So, does that tell you anything? And another thing about trends is the same thing happens with the kindergarten registration. The same thing. You can count on all day long, the last of April, us doing birth certificates, every one of us, because people forget to get them before they go. The budget, my projected budget for 2012-2013 was $711,058. And the revenue projection for 2012-2013 is $986,000. Portions of our fees go to the state fund. For example, 1/2 of the excise tax, $6.20 of each document recorded, and $35 of every marriage. And just to put that in perspective, it costs $60 for a marriage license. Well, $35 of that goes somewhere else besides Wayne County.
Are you on course with your revenue projections?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Good.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir, Ms. Daugherty.
With the excess revenue over your projected expenses, you're looking at some $275,000 or so there. What do you do with the excess?
What do we do with it, Mr. Smith? Does it get spent by the department as needed?
General fund.
Okay.
So
It gets put in the general fund.
Into the
they're
general.
not a self-balancing department. They are part of numerous departments. Maybe.
So you don't have to send that to the state or?
It's just part of our fee collection.
Okay.
The state gets enough.
Yeah,
So this is a revenue generating resource?
yes.
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 And it goes to
It
the
generates-
unrestricted general
It
fund?
generates typically, in addition to what, just the excess, you'll see that's almost a 1/2 cent on the tax rate.
That's right.
That they generate in that
What's
office.
1 cent? 5?
550,000, give or take.
Okay.
So,
And as I say, back when the building business was booming, it was just great, but it's fallen off some.
I was going to ask a question, and that line item, when it goes back into the budget, where does it go? Does it go to an unrestricted budget?
we're talking about,
$275,000?
well, it's counted as just a general fund revenue. So that, it's just there as a revenue. It's not restricted for any specific
Okay,
purpose.
that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
Thank
general
you.
fund. Yeah.
All right. And the attachments that Ms. Harrison gave you, it just gives more insight to certain things that we do, like it has the recording requirements. That's attachment A. Is the recording requirements like the size of paper, nothing can be on the back and be a certain type. Attachment B is the fee schedule that we have at the present time. And attachment C shows the rate of excise tax back to 1932. I just thought you'd find that interesting.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Question.
Sorry,
We
Mr.
charge-
Payne.
do we charge veterans for registering their DD 214?
No, sir, it's free, and the certified copies
Okay.
are free.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, just general information, just be aware that we are ready to listen to your situation and help if we can. We encourage everyone to know what information is available on the website, and especially look at your documents. Whatever pertains to you, make sure that information is correct. And of course, if it's not, give us a call. Our phone number is 919-731-1449, and office hours is 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, excluding holidays.
What's your average daily traffic, you think, in and out
Well,
daily? I know it's all over the board.
There's no way to log it. I'd have to put a little counter on the door or something. Because as I say, some months
Yep.
are so much busier than others.
Yep.
It'd be hard to
Okay.
track. Statistical information that you will find in the office. Birth and death records go back to 1913. Marriage records are from 1877. Military records from 1918, which is World War I. Real estate records from 1779. We have commissioner's minutes from 1868. And we have the maps and plats from 1915.
Commissioners' minutes.
And that's the end of my presentation.
Commissioners' minutes from 1868.
If you ever have a chance
1868.
seriously and go look at some of those, that's pretty interesting.
It is,
To
yeah.
look at and find out what has changed and what has not.
Wow.
Probably not much.
That was a setup.
Okay, any questions from Mr. Cromartie?
I have just a general interest question to ask you. Records of properties, I was just trying to see where real estate records go back to 1779.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that is fairly standard around North Carolina, that year? I mean, that is, with other counties maybe like.
I've never asked that question, so I don't know. I feel like it would be, I mean, because the law was passed.
So, real estate records and property that anyone owned would be part of, and let me ask a more direct question.
Okay.
Doing family research on all that.
Well, I have had people to look for real estate records, doing genealogy,
Right.
just curious about what their parents or grandparents did own, but normally they would look at birth and death records for history.
And all property that someone owned, regardless of what it was, would be listed,
It's public record.
public record.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Ms. Moore, thank you so much for coming today and taking time out of your day to come. Very interesting, very informative.